Good morning, friends. I forget exactly the name of the day that it is, but I know it was for world peace. And Deb and I were just thinking, with the elections being this week, that, peace is a good thing to talk about. And how can we promote peace in our own lives and with those around us? And the one thing that I notice the most, I guess, is just patience. Like when I'm more patient with people, like it gives me peace, but it also gives them peace. Well, so much of the time we're like so quick to like jump on somebody who's thinking differently than we are or acting differently than we are. Whereas when we can just a little bit of patience and maybe a little understanding and how can we promote peace in our own lives?
Yeah. And I get impatient too, but mostly I will just back out of the conversation and say, you know what, let's just agree to disagree. And for a long time, I thought that was the best answer. And sometimes, because we're not going to convince each other. But my friend Melissa Majors wrote a really good book called The 7 Habits of Highly Inclusive Leaders. I'm not sure I said that exactly right. And after reading that, I thought, she says, don't just shut down conversation, lean in and ask questions. Tell me more about that. What do you mean by that? Because we all come through life with a different frame of reference for everything. And we don't know somebody's background. And once we ask and we're like, I still may not agree, but I understand why you would have that viewpoint. I understand. I have a better understanding, more empathy, and it takes our relationships to a higher level.
Right.
So I really like that about the book. That's probably the most powerful thing that came out of it for me with reading it. And I left that on the Amazon on her book as a comment too. But anyway, yeah, I'm a peacemaker. And so I'm like, let's just, things are getting heated. I don't want to talk about it. Like, let's just agree to disagree. And like, no, let's just ask questions and lean in a little bit. And
I think that's so important because for a long time, what were you told never to talk about? Politics, religion, and it's like, but those are the things that many of us have so much passion around that's where finding out somebody's reason why they're passionate, maybe in a different way than I am,
right,
is so huge. And our knowledge is expanded by those conversations, and our views are expanded. As Deb said, we all come from a different background, a different journey that we've taken. Deb and I grow up in the same household, but we have different views on things and we have different experiences that we've been through our lives. So take that to someone from a different culture or a different background, and it's even more broad. And yeah, the more we can lean in. I love that. Lean in and ask questions and do it with that curiosity, not just like, oh, why do you think that?
Right. Yeah. Curiosity, like sincerity.
Yeah.
I want to know more about that. Tell me more about that.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before, Melanie, but our job is not to judge other people's opinions, and it's not our job. So take that off your shoulders, take that off your everything. We are only called to love one another. And when we have those conversations, we do feel more love towards somebody because we have more compassion, we have more understanding. So world peace always reminds me of Miss Congeniality, because they all talk of like, what do you want? Blah, blah, world peace. I want world peace, world peace. It's just funny. Anyway, it's kind of a lighter, whatever. But really, again, we voted, we've said our thing. Maybe we're still writing letters to Congress people or whomever, and that's fine. But we also have a big impact in our corner of the world, and we can learn to love our neighbor and listen and lean into conversation and really get to know people. Because when I used to do that, I didn't get to know them. I just shut down communication. Sure. I didn't get to know that other person. It's fun to learn about other journeys because you go, oh, okay, now I have a lot more understanding and compassion.
And it may not change our position, and it may not change their position. And again, I think when we're butting heads, we're never going to change the other one's position. But when we can gain more understanding, then at least we as Deb said, we have that compassion for where they're coming from, why they think the way they do, if it's different than the way we view something. So,
Right. So happy Peace Day, World Peace Day.
and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.